And it actually is used medicinally for those with seasonal allergies. But the tincture of this is actually used as the antidote to the allergies. Goldenrod, I read a study, it actually has 7 times the antioxidants as green tea. So the herbalist that was reporting on this study that came out made a joke that someone could be really rich if they would just market goldenrod tea. The different properties, aromatic, astringent, it's anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, like I was saying, antiseptic, it's a great antifungal, specific to candida in the body. If there was an oral infection of thrush, it's good as a mouth rinse. It's also good taken internally for that. If there was a vaginal yeast infection, it's good as a bath soak for that. It's also a diuretic. A lot of the properties of goldenrod traditionally has been used to tone and heal the kidneys. So if anyone ever has a long-term kidney or urinary tract issue, it's wonderful, wonderful for that, and it can be taken safely long-term. So it's also considered a tonic, so it can strengthen that urinary system and it can strengthen the kidneys. There's a lot of plants that work on the kidneys and the urinary tract infection, but if someone is talking to you, or if you are listening to yourself and you're typically a cold-natured person and you expend a lot of energy and you're often tired and you have the kidney issues, then goldenrod is your plant. It works really well for supporting the adrenals, so it works, it's very balanced for the kidneys, and like I said, long-term tonic use, but also because it has those antiseptic properties, it will work specifically on any bacteria that might be causing an infection. One of the other primary uses is during cold and flu season, which I feel like that is why it's so abundant this time of year. Everyone kind of shifts back into school or whatever their routine is, and it seems there's a resurge of cold and flu. The warming properties of it, especially when it's drunk warm as tea, will help the body gently raise the temperature and then begin to sweat, so it'll help the body naturally break the fever. It has the antimicrobial and antiseptic properties, so it helps also fight any sort of bacteria or virus that's in there. It's also a great expectorant, so if there's a cough, it can help break it up. And it works kind of in a funny way, so if it helps thin the mucosal linings, and it helps thin the mucus itself, but it also helps, because it's a diuretic, it helps get things moving. So if you have a thick, stuck sort of cough, it works in that way to help thin the mucus and thin those linings, but then it helps get things moving and out. So it makes it a really good expectorant. It's also really good for sinus or allergy issues, and if you have kind of a drippy, runny cold, it's really good for that. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Oh, it's great to be used for achy, tired, old joints and muscles. So if you infuse these leaves and flowers in an oil, olive oil, castor oil, coconut oil, whatever your oil of choice is, you can infuse it for 4 to 6 weeks, strain the plant material out, and then you can use the oil straight on the skin topically for those sore muscles. There's one herbalist, she actually just passed away a couple of weeks ago, but she used it for arthritis. So she's the one that specifically said for old joints. She loved it for herself and using it on her arthritic, painful joints. It's anti-inflammatory, so I can see that it would work really well for that as well. It will reduce the swelling. It also, specifically on the muscles, is really nice to reduce tension. So you'll hear me talk, you'll realize it has a lot of uses. And to me, this kind of represents the abundance because you see it everywhere, and it's brilliant yellow. And you'll drive any road this time of year, and it's everywhere. So typically plants like that do have a lot of uses, and they're pretty generally safe for the most part for long-term use, and have been used traditionally for a long time. That is pretty. Another use for goldenrod is during the midst of winter as a beautiful little mood elevator. It works very well for seasonal affective disorders, so anxiety or depression that might come on in the middle of winter when you've not had enough sun or whatever it is. And a nice way to do that is to dry the flowers for the tea or to make a tincture. There are other herbs that work like this as well, and I like to call it the inner sunshine. So just a little bit of it, and it's like, oh, beautiful yellow sun in my body. I remember summer. I'm going to make it through February. As a tea, if you drink it cold, it usually does a little more specific action as a diuretic. So that would be indicated if you were using it more for the kidney issues, urinary tract issues, but as a tea drunk warm, it's going to stimulate those diaphoretic properties. So that's when you would drink it if you had a cold or a flu or a fever that you were wanting to. For allergies, one specific application that they've been studying lately is it's specific to people that have allergies to cats, and specifically the cat dander. So I thought that was pretty interesting.